Hello, everyone. Welcome to the March Sleep When I'm Dead book club book discussion. I have my lovely friends Leah, Beth, and Hannah here. We are going to be discussing A Killing Cold by Kate Alice Marshall. We will be talking spoilers, but feel free to stay as long as you can. I feel like the first few questions are pretty spoiler free, but yeah, welcome. So glad you guys are here. I do have a QR code. It's over on Leah's side of the screen. So if you guys have not joined our Discord, you guys can go over there, join us because we do have April, May, and June already posted. But yeah, we'll go ahead and do some introductions. Hannah, your dog has to go first. I'm sorry.
I know, because he's just like winning
Yes.
the whole
Hello,
sprint.
I'm here.
So you can go first.
He does not want to be part of the party, actually.
Oh.
Hello, everyone. My name is Hannah from the Teachers TBR. And what else do we say? Do we talk
What
about?
do you like to read? Your channel, anything you want to
Okay.
say, just save your final thoughts for the end.
Something no one knows about you.
Yes.
I'm
Wow.
curious.
Okay.
Yeah, what's something no one knows about you? I'm curious.
I am a very avid thriller reader. So I mostly read thrillers. I dive into romance and all sorts of different genres, but I mostly just love me a good thriller. So
Yeah.
that's actually the genre that I started on. That was like my very first genre that got me into reading. So
That's
Nice.
awesome.
thriller.
What about you, Leah? Who
Well,
are you? What do you like to read? What is something no one knows about you?
Oh gosh. Okay, so my name is Leah Beth, and I'm Leah Beth Book Time on YouTube. I like to read romance, fantasy, but like make it romantasy because if it's not, I can't with it. Um, and then I like thrillers as well. This one was a very good thriller, I will say. Something people don't know about me. Okay, the book that got me back into reading is extremely depressing. I walked into the library. It was my birthday, and it is called The Enchanted. And I need to find who like actually wrote it by a lady named Renee something. And it was literally about like the hierarchy of mob activity inside of prisons for people who are on death row.
Oh my gosh, that was your
It-
first book to
that
come
was
up
my
in your
first book that got me I had
That
been
is
reading, but
hilarious.
like I had taken this huge hiatus, and then I just walked into the book like the library, and I was like, I'm gonna pick a book that no one I've heard of, like no one talking about, and no hype. And so it was a book by Renee Denfeld, and the book is like so depressing. If you can go back in like my videos, you can see that me and Wendy did a book swap, and she was like traumatized by the
Oh no.
because there's CPS stuff, there's like really dark stuff, and you would be like, why? But a little bit of backstory, I weirdly had a relative who was wrongfully accused of a crime and was in jail at the time, who has now been exonerated. And so it was like I was like, what's happening in his jail? Like, what's going on? And I had to kind of be in the mindset of it. And so yeah, fun fact.
I love that.
You know, I did not know that about you.
That's-
But now I do.
Nobody does. Yes.
Well, if anyone doesn't know who I am, my name is Jessie. My channel is Reading with Jess. This is my book club. We read a newish release thriller every month. These are my co-hosts. Thank you, ladies, for joining me. Before we get into the discussion, let me know what you rated the book. We're saving our final thoughts for the end. I'm going to try to quickly go through here. There we go. Danny read A Killing Cold and torn between a 2 and a 3-star. Okay. Gwen is here. She's ready for another Sleep When I'm Dead discussion. I got to change how these comments looks because it's driving me crazy. Let's see.
I don't like how they go in and then out.
Yes.
So much
Yeah, they're like really quick. And for people who stress read on like, live streams, you're like, I can no.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Nad, hello. Literally just finished the audiobook. Well, that is perfect timing. Jules, how's it going? Sharon, good evening. Corinna, hello. So glad you guys could all make it. My pretty girls.
Aw.
Stop it. If I'm glowing, it's the sweat because my AC is not working. So
Can I just
Oh my
flex?
goodness.
I actually had someone today at work think I was a college student. And I told her, I was like, no, I have a daughter who's like 10 and 7 almost. And she was like, you're lying. I'm like, thank you.
that's the best compliment ever.
I know, right? I'm like, yay. Because of my millennial dress, or no, my Gen Z dress. I bring baggy pants and like my Nike cords and
You're with the times.
with the time.
Hey, Jordan. Maggie, hello. Brandon's here, probably here to just stir the pot. Oh, he gave it a
'Always.
4-star.
Wow.
Brandon, seriously, because you have been low balling
Yes.
a lot of books. He low balled, let's see, the Powerless,
Brandon?
he low balled. And then also, I saw that he gave Just for the Summer, like, what, 2 stars or something? Was it 3? It might have
Check him
been
out.
2. My
Check
heart
him out,
stopped
Jesse.
beating. I was like,
Brandon. Those are
Him out.
Brandon!
fighting words right there. Oh my
I
gosh.
hope I'm not wrong and it wasn't him, but I'm pretty sure it was.
Watch him give it like 5 stars. And he's like, Leo, what are you talking
That's
about?
the
He's like,
only
"Leah,
acceptable
what?"
answer.
Yeah, truly.
Hi, Michelle. Let's see. I feel like I'm in the minority with this book. That's okay. Now, if it was an Abby Jimenez, I might come after you. Yep, getting fancy.
Okay. So another fun fact, we had a mail carrying car like burn. And I'm like, did it have my Abby book? Because it's supposed to come tomorrow.
Oh yeah, it
You
comes
know,
out.
like
It comes out
Today?
mhm.
Did it come out
tomorrow.
or tomorrow?
It's
Oh, yeah,
first.
April 1st.
Okay, he gave
Yeah.
it 3 stars. Sorry, but still.
Still, though.
Oh my gosh,
Brandon?
just ripped my heart out.
What about the unicorn floaty? That
He's-
itself deserves a 5
He's
star.
like, dang, I knew I was
Yes.
going to get called out. Oh.
Hey, Amy settled on a 3.5. Okay.
Mhm.
Maggie gave it a 4-star. She loved it. That's awesome. 3 stars, 3.5. Nice. Don't lie, Hannah. You're a fantasy girly.
I'm dipping my toes. I'm getting
Dude,
it.
no, Hannah, you can't
Dipping
even.
my toes.
You were like 4th wing fan starring. Like you were just like, look at my blog, and then all these.
Jesse is starting to become one too. You
Oh,
can't get
absolutely not.
5 stars
like-
and not.
She's like, that was my
Again.
charitable donation to the
Yeah,
book community.
charitable donation to the fantasy. You know, I'm reading historical fiction this upcoming month. I have historical fiction, sci-fi coming up next month, fantasy. I'm all around, but no.
You really are.
Wow.
If it's not kissing, it's stabbing. That's my reading taste.
You need a shirt.
I've been trying, but like I cannot figure out how to like. I haven't found something that I liked. So
Brandon.
sitting here waiting for Leah's recap on the book because she always does such a good job summarizing things.
Dude, I highly doubt, like, my working brain now, I'm like on low battery all the time.
Let's see. We got a bunch of 3 stars. Jules gave it 4.
I knew she would high star it. She's always like solid.
Oh yeah. Stop it. Dang, I knew I was gonna get called out. 4 stars.
You know it.
You should just read it in secret. Lena DNF'd it because she wasn't enjoying it, but ready to be spoiled. I think she got like 75% through the way too.
No.
Okay, so I have a rule. If I get over 60, I just will not DNF because I feel like I have invested way too much of my life into the book.
Yeah. I know she's not a fan of this author to begin with too. Like I know she didn't like the last one. So like honestly, I'm shocked she even read it, to be honest.
What was it like? What we hide in the woods, or
no, that's What Lies in the Woods. It was what was
something whispering, right? Whispering.
No, it's the one with the house on it. Oh,
I literally checked it out at the library like a couple months ago.
Where is it?
if Jesse doesn't have it, it doesn't exist.
No, I have the Book of the Month edition. I just can't find it. Oh, it was It's blue and orange. I know that.
Oh, I know exactly. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I just cannot.
I can envision it.
Is it this one that you're thinking of? No one can know.
Yes.
Yes, that's what I was thinking too.
That's not what I was thinking of. I was thinking of another one. Oh, Rules for Vanishing. I was
Yeah,
thinking.
that's her YA book. I have that on my TBR somewhere. Somewhere around a 3. Abby will always get talk marks at midnight. I'm reading. Yay.
Oh, so yeah, she is actually like waiting for the book, I think, to download on Kindle or something like at midnight.
I read it and it's so good. It's
Really?
probably arguably my favorite.
Even more than Just for the Summer.
Yes.
Wow, those are some big words.
Yep.
I know. I'm like, wow.
Yeah. It just be prepared to be like boohoo crying. I'm just letting y'all know. 2.75.
Really? I'm shook because Corinna is so generous in her, like usually she high
Maybe that
Even
is
to know why it was a 2.75 for her.
We gonna find out.
Oh, maybe I would.
4. Love the vibes and the reveals. Nice. Listen. Part of Your World was 5 stars. Your Truly was 4.
Brandon, we just differ, and I just love you so much. We definitely differ. So he loved The Measure. I think he gave it 5 stars. I think I gave it 2. He hated The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden, and I loved it. I think he gave it a 2. I gave it a 5. Like, we're just opposite. Love. We just have so much love. I hated Part of Your World. I gave it a 2.
I also hated Part of Your World.
It's so okay. I did bump it up to like a 3, maybe.
Y'all are just breaking my heart, but that's okay.
Okay. Different strokes, different folks.
Yes. Okay. So let's go ahead and get with the discussion. I'll have the comments just kind of pop up and we'll just, go from there. So the first time trying this, we can remove Brandon for his hate speech. Okay. So my first question is, have you ever read anything by Kate Alice Marshall before? Why is he still on the screen?
Is he on the screen? Surprisingly. Nope.
He's not
there. He goes.
Nope.
He's back.
He's back on.
Boot him off. We love you, Brandon.
Oh.
I would just like to say about Brandon, he's the sweetest person ever. Just saying. So nice.
Just saying.
I just like him so much. Me and Wendy talk about it all the time. Okay. I've never read anything by this author.
Really?
I was
Me either.
Surprisingly. Yeah. I've never.
Oh my gosh.
And
it says someone scanned my QR code. That's so cool. I didn't know that was a thing.
So fun.
Sorry,
really cool.
I got distracted.
We can see like who's like subscribing in real time.
That's so cool.
But no, I've never read anything by this author, but I've heard great things.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
What about you, Hannah?
No, I've never read anything by her. Like I said, I checked out Rules for Vanishing from the library, but never got to it. And then, like I said, I had seen No One Can Know, but I don't know. I just don't feel drawn to that one. I don't know if it's the cover or what, but I'm a huge fan of that whole cover vibes.
I am too. Yeah,
Nice.
The covers are great. I will say her covers are like winning.
So the first book I read by her was What Lies in the Woods, and I really, really enjoyed that one. Gave it 5 stars. I think it was my favorite thriller of 2023, maybe.
I need to read it.
Yeah, it was. So I don't think it's a spoiler, but it reminded me of an actual true crime case. I was like, this sounds very familiar. But yeah, so I recommend that one. I think No One Can Know was just okay in my opinion. So
yeah.
Okay.
But I think I gave it a 4, but maybe 3.5 was my actual thoughts. But I think it was good. I'd recommend people reading it. But What Lies in the Woods is really, really good. So.
I definitely am going to add that to my TBR because that sounds good. If you loved it that much.
I've seen that cover, but I can't think of what it looks like.
I think I showed it at the beginning.
It's black and it's got a magenta text, I think.
Yeah, I think I might
have it right.
That one.
I think I might own that book.
Yeah.
I'm not sure though. That's
the
problem, probably.
I have Rules for the Vanishing on my TBR, but I know it's YA, so maybe. But the 3 books, the one we're discussing, and the other 2 are her adult books. So, and then I actually just got her Neck Alley arc of one. It comes out this year too, which I'm like, that's quick. Let me pull that up real quick.
Yeah, this one just came out.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very recent.
This one comes out in July. We won't all survive.
Ooh.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Oh,
That
was
looks
that?
great.
So that's on NetGalley now?
Yes.
Okay.
Comes out July 29th.
Because I feel like I did see it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of like a female version of Riley Sager. Like the ending of the book.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, that's good.
You know?
That's good
Yeah.
comparison.
Kind of like the
Look
Whiplash.
book. You guys loved it, but I didn't. Only one left. Only one left. It's very much reminiscent of Riley Sager.
Oh yes.
The only one left. It's like at the end, you're like falling downstairs in your mind.
Yeah.
And maybe literally at some point.
Yes,
Mhm.
literally, maybe.
Okay, everyone in the comments, make sure you answer this, but only using 3 words. How would you describe this book? Whoever would like to go first.
Go ahead.
I mean, I would just say like who done it, but that's not okay. I would say suspenseful,
Okay.
spooky, and maybe like nostalgic because it's like, I don't know, it kind of reminds me of like these older stories you would hear, like almost like folklore around, like, oh, how could this be possible? Like you hear folklore about famous families and you're like, do we believe it? Do we not? What do we, So I would say like maybe nostalgic, maybe folklore would be more of a like better term, like lore.
Okay.
Let's go with that.
I like that.
Yeah.
What about you, Hannah?
Is it okay if 2 of my words go together? Technically, all 3 of my words go together. And it's messy soap opera.
Okay.
This book reminded me so much of like those old soap operas that you just you're trying to not watch it at the same time, but you're like, she slept with who? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, like there's so many reveals.
Yeah.
It's like almost reveal heavy. You're
Yeah.
just like, what?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. Those are mine.
Let's see. Corinna said slow, sloppy, lazy, confusing, messy, entitled.
Oh, yeah.
Wintry, rich drama, cool, tense, and frustrating. I like that. My 3 words were manipulation, drama, and recollection.
Oh,
that is good. Those are good words.
So, thanks. Let's see. I knew I took one of Jules's words: money, drama, and secrets. She always says I take
money
her
was a
words,
good one.
so that's
Yeah,
funny.
secrets is a good one too.
Okay, so moving on to like how this book was driven. Would you say it's more plot or more character driven?
I think it's a mixture of both. I think it was very heavily plot driven, but also we had a pretty good like idea of who was who and what they had to do with the story. Some of the side characters weren't completely fleshed out, at least in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I do think like our main characters, we were following them pretty close. So Theo and Connor.
I would say it was more plot driven because you don't really see like the main character evolve in any sort of way. Like she just keeps reminiscing or thinking back. So I just feel like it was a lot of like she's trying to solve a mystery, which is like the plot of the story the entire time. So although we're in her head some, I don't feel like the focal point was really like her character. I think it was more like finding the source of the confusion in her life. Like it was, and it had just like the plot just kind of grew wider when you added more characters in. So I feel like it was just, for me, it was more plot driven, I guess.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was going to say 75% plot, 25% character.
Probably accurate.
But I think it's just because I feel like it's just because we're following this character, like regain her memory. So
we very much got into her mind and her thoughts. And
her mind, her
amnesia.
memories. Yeah, exactly. Let's see, slow pace, rich people drama, long.
I did not think
And
it was
I
long.
didn't either.
It's extremely short.
no,
see
I
that.
thought it was a very quick read.
I
I
can
like
see
finished
also
it
be
in one
honest.
day.
How would you describe your initial thoughts of the book? Did the book grab your attention? This is mostly like within the first 20% of the book. Like, what was your first initial thoughts?
I would say my first initial thoughts were like it was going to be one of those books that's like this old cult of some kind. Like it sounded like some cult, right? Like some almost like I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to say Amish, that's bad. Like old-timey cult where like women were oppressed, kind of like the Handmaid's Tale. Like I was like, where is this going?
Mm-hmm.
Because she was afraid of someone and she kept reminiscing about how she was like very oppressed as a child and got in trouble for
Mhm.
doing things and just like she couldn't step out of line. And so I was thinking to myself, well, this is going to be like really, I thought it was actually going to be a lot more sinister than it ended up
Mm-hmm.
being. So I was like buckled in, ready for this wild ride of like, oh my gosh, it's going to be a cult and they're going to be awful and they're going to be doing all this crazy stuff. And like, I was just ready to go. So I was hooked from like the moment I was reading and I was like, this is going to be good. So yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I ate this up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
I think the
Leanne?
same. Like I was hooked from like page 5. And I will say not all thrillers do that for me. Like it
Right.
takes a
Mm-hmm.
really good thriller writer to be able to hook you from page whatever.
Yeah.
But I will
Mm-hmm.
say, and I think a lot of us, according to the Discord, felt like this too, but I felt like it was going to go in a direction where I was like, are we going to go into an incest sort of a thing?
Yeah,
here?
that's what I thought too. Like,
Okay.
Texas standoff where they had like the guy what's that guy's name? Where he had like all of those wives and all of those children. I was like, it's
Yeah.
gonna be that.
Well, I thought like her
Yeah.
and Connor were going to end up being,
Yes, I thought the
I
same
was very
thing.
uncomfortable. I was like, surely to goodness.
I
I
was
was
like,
scared for a while too.
mm-hmm.
I'm really glad.
I was
they
just like,
Me too.
yeah. I was like, this is
Mhm.
different.
I was actually
Can't wait to talk about this with Hannah and Leah
Mhm.
Beth.
like, Credence. Even though I didn't
Yeah, just yeah, I was like, it grabbed my attention right off the bat. I was also like, I don't normally try to like guess what's going on, but I was just like,
I was scared.
Freaked out.
I was like, is this where it's going? Because this is definitely a first.
Yeah.
But like, I also feel like I don't know if it was like to make you feel like it was going to go that way or not. So
Yeah.
See,
I'm kind of glad it did
I
not
don't
go
know.
that direction because I feel like
Me
Yeah.
I would have not gone down that rabbit hole. But
Yeah.
I did kind of like that they threw that into
Yeah, especially with them like kind of like hooking up during
Yeah.
the whole time. I was
Oh
just like,
my
ew. I
like
hope
they had just
ew.
did it, and then it was like,
Yeah.
so and so is related to so and so, and I was, okay.
I was
Yeah.
like, you're gonna be like very
We're actually
closely
siblings.
related. Yeah, like
Yeah.
just kidding. You're siblings.
Exactly.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be. It was like I was scared it was going to go in kind of a pretty morally bad direction, but I was like, okay, I'm
Mhm.
gonna commit. It's gonna be okay.
It's
Like
good.
I'm gonna read a book like this. It's fine, and I'm actually glad that it kind of made you feel
Mhm.
like you were walking beside something terrifying, and then you just look and it's just your shadow. Like it gives you the vibes, but it's not the
Yeah.
substance of it. I liked that.
Yeah. That's a good like
That is good.
analogy.
Like
Is that the right
Yeah.
word? Metaphor?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is the significance of the location Idlewood and how does it contribute to the story's atmosphere and events? Did the setting really add any suspense for you?
Definitely. I would say the isolation is like highlighted
Mhm.
because obviously the setting kind of like mirrors the family. They have isolated themselves in a lot of ways. Like their secrets are very far removed from their lives. So they're like almost in hiding in some way.
Mhm.
And they have this plot of land or these, what do you call it? Like where there's multiple houses on one piece of land. I forget what you call it, but like a homestead or whatever.
Mhm.
They have this
Yeah.
campsite, whatever, where like they can be their truest selves and they can let their secrets fly or whatever, and then they invite someone
Mm-hmm.
into their space. So I do feel like it's very like it's just the place that they go to keep their secrets, like reinforce their secrets so that like everything stays the
Yeah.
way it should. So I felt like the setting was, well, obviously the cold was mentioned a lot. So they're talking about like, the cold is the main killer. So that was like,
Mm-hmm.
you get isolated, cold, heartless kind of vibe from the setting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was thinking especially isolation for sure. But I also it
Mm-hmm.
was almost giving campy vibes
Yeah, it was.
because of
Yeah.
how close the cabins were to each other. And I think that setting alone sets up for like disaster
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like every
Yeah.
time that family is that close together, something ends up going haywire. Especially, and I really agree with what Lena said. It was giving the family game, and that's one of my
Yeah.
book recommendations. And it was giving like definitely secrets, and I really liked the snow aspect because snow usually
Mm-hmm.
covers up secrets and covers up things. So I really
Yeah.
liked how she tied that in together. So,
Mm-hmm.
Another book I could say would be The Hunting Party by Lucy Foley,
mhm.
because there's a lot of rich
Oh yeah.
people drama, and it's also on a camp kind of lodge where they're all in different houses and
Yeah.
cabins. And then like a
Yeah.
smidge of One by One by Ruth Ware, because it had that like
Mm.
Yeah, that's a good
cold,
one.
wintry vibe, and also a bunch of people in kind of a close proximity, but still sort of segregated on some lodge. So if you want like a lodgy,
Yeah.
wintry, cold at heart vibe, it's a very good atmosphere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, basically same thing for y'all. I also feel like it's so isolating, but like you're still not alone because you're alone with these essentially these strangers,
Mhm.
even though you've kind of been there before. But like it's like who are you surrounding yourself with?
Mm-hmm.
And what's out there? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the recommendations that were mentioned. The guys kind of stole mine, but that's okay. um But yeah, definitely. I feel like it definitely added more suspense. It definitely gave it that campy vibe, but like a different take. I don't think I've ever read any campy, wintry type
I
of
know, right?
stories. So yeah. Okay. How would you describe the shift or the change in Theo's perception of Connor and his family throughout the story?
Oh man, she at one point she was like, "I do not trust anyone," and I was rooting
Mm-hmm.
for her when she just had that shift of perspective where she was like, "I've been here before, and I do not trust anyone, especially Connor." And like her turning on him, I was kind of good with that because I also didn't trust Connor. I didn't trust any of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of rooting for it, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But then Connor turned out to be okay.
It's kind of like, I don't know if anyone's ever been in a manipulating situation, but it's kind of like the moment you are aware that you're being entrapped in some
Mhm.
way. And so, like, then you're like, oh my gosh, this is happening and I can't get out of it. And this is serious. And so I did feel like it was kind of like if you look at something from far away and it looks really nice and inviting, and then you get up really close and you're like, well, like a house. My in-laws have been house hunting, and every house online looks so pretty in the pictures. And then you get there in real life and you're like, oh my gosh, the ceiling is like caving in and everything's wrong. So like the closer you get to something, the more
Yeah.
flaws you see. And so I feel like it's the same with her and the family. From the outset at the first dinner or whatever, she's like, okay, well, this is tolerable. Everyone seems kind of nice, whatever. There's some weird vibes, but it's not bad. But
Yeah.
like the deeper she gets, she realizes like something's up. And so I feel like just
Mm-hmm.
all of us have that innate sense of like, okay, I need to be really aware. And like
Mhm.
you said about Connor,
Mm-hmm.
he was sus from the beginning. Whenever you find out, and this is, can I spoil something? Whenever
Yeah.
you find out that he sought her out, Theo, by a picture he
Mm-hmm.
saw of her, and
Mhm.
there's a tattoo that's kind of related to the family and situation. When you see that he sought her out and you find that information, you're like, okay, well, he's targeting her. So then I was like, oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
No, it
they
doesn't.
didn't
Yeah.
really know each other that well to begin with.
Yeah, it
Like,
was
they had
very,
just
Yeah. I think it was a fast
yeah.
engagement.
they try to make it
like only a
like
few
fate
months.
at like faded. Things are so faded, but at first you're like, okay, were they faded or
Mhm.
was he like seeking her out creepily?
Yeah, exactly. I think also once Theo realized, like, okay, something's definitely up, and I think I know what's going on. It's like keep your like. It's one of those incidents where it's like keep your enemies close.
Yeah.
Like, don't let them know that you're like on their trail. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, when I found out like he sought her out and like yeah, basically everything y'all just said, like I was like, yep, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. Okay, moving on to the title. What did you think of the title, A Killing Cold, and how does it relate to the story? And if you don't like the title, what would you rename it?
I thought A Killing Cold definitely related to the story, and you'll find it out kind of spoilery. They kind of give the impression, well, they don't give the impression, death happens in the cold. And I think there was it the father who was face down in the snow, right? And then later
Yeah.
on, there's a certain person. I don't know how spoilery we're gonna get or if we're gonna reveal it right now,
Go
but like
for it.
later when you find the uncle, he's also being slowly killed by the cold. So the cold is the real
Ooh,
killer. So
I just
there's like,
love
there's a lot of like
that. Is good.
symbolism with the cold. And I think
Mm-hmm.
maybe the symbolism could be I had this thought. It was just like, how a cold dying by death of cold takes a long time. And so like I think that also just like the way that the I don't know, the whole plot took a long time. What was I trying to say? I'm losing my train of thought. Just basically like it takes a long time to draw out the truth, just like the cold takes a long time to kill someone. I don't know. Something like that. And so I just feel like that's a huge thing. Also, I think that didn't they like say that they tried to use the cold as a way to kill someone without having to lay hands on them in some way?
I think
Something like
so.
that. So they kind of alluded
Yeah.
like, I don't even need to lay hands on you to kill you. I just leave you out here isolated and you could die. So
Yeah. I think it's like almost like an impending
yeah, it's like
doom
a
too.
threat. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't love the title, but I also don't know what I would rename it. Just because I feel like when I think of A Killing Cold, me personally, I go into it thinking like, oh, someone is going to die. Like we're going to follow someone, like
Mm-hmm.
I'm like average thriller. We're going to follow someone's murder and then try and figure out who it was. Um, I mean, it does make sense because of the atmosphere, the setting,
Mm-hmm.
and all of what Leah said is totally valid. But I feel like the title is just a little bit lackluster for
It
me.
is. It almost makes you think of like a plague. Like a killing cold would
Almost.
be a really great name for
Yeah.
like a historical fiction about some type of plague. But for this book, I think, I don't know, what would I rename it? Maybe like the dragonfly. I don't know, like something like that's
Oh
in there.
yeah.
Or like a life forgotten or like
I wish they would have put
Yeah.
forgotten. I
the
don't know, something.
picture in
Yeah.
more. Like even with the title.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like
Yeah.
that should have been something because that was the initial way she found out that she
Yes.
was
Like
in there was the
a
picture.
picture of a girl and like the title could be like a forgotten life or something
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
just kind of misleading maybe.
Yeah. I don't have like a specific title, but I think like Idlewood, like some like
Ooh,
Death at Idlewood
Idlewood, that
or
would be good. Actually, just Idlewood.
like some yeah, just something like with that name. And I guess like I don't know, just something with Idlewood
You could say
would
like
make more
Idlewood
sense to
House
me.
or something Idle. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like just Idlewood. I think that would have been a really good.
Or the Dragonfly at Idlewood.
Ooh, I like that one.
Yeah. Why aren't
Yeah.
we on the marketing team for this book?
Hey, Alice Marshall, hire us, please.
Right?
Yes, please. Okay, well, speaking of dragonfly, we learned that Theo has a dragonfly tattoo, and we later find out the significance of the tattoo. Do either of you have any meaningful tattoos or have any ideas for meaningful tattoos in your life?
Ooh, actually, yes. So I have, I used to live in Russia. So my tattoo, it says Jesus, which is Jesus. And then my brother has Christ on his.
Oh,
wrist. So it's
Oh,
cool.
cute.
Christ. I also have an idea for a tattoo I'm getting in the summertime, and I want to get it right here on my
Ooh.
arm below my Jesus. So my father was a songwriter, and as we all know, he's passed away. But he wrote a song called
Mhm.
Surrounded, and so I want to get the word surrounded on my forearm. And I think that
Aw.
I think that in the book she gets the dragonfly because it's a fond memory, right? Like, is it a fond memory that she
Mm.
has or something? Does she get it? Was it a
I,
dragon?
I I think in the beginning she was like, I got it. I don't know
Yes,
why I
right.
got
So
it,
fond.
but like it all makes sense because of the
Yeah.
Right.
reveals.
So I feel like, yeah, I want like a significant tattoo that I can think it brings up fond memories of my
Mhm.
childhood where she probably eventually had the same feeling.
I do
Mhm.
not have any tattoos because I am terrified of needles.
It's
Like
extreme.
I'm such a big baby when it comes to needles. I will probably eventually get one when I am
Mhm.
grown.
It's like a micro tattoo, like a teacher's apple or something. Like micro tattoos are really small. I
Yeah.
plan on getting some of. I
Mhm.
mean, I'm terrified of needles. Like, guys, I pass out when I'm getting my
Mm,
blood drawn.
can't.
But when I was 18, I was like, I'm gonna get a tattoo, and I'm gonna get it today. And I ended up getting one on my rib cage. So I have
Ooh.
another tattoo on my ribs that says love in Hebrew, and my husband and I, we got them before we even got married. We were dating. So I basically like put his name on my body. Like, right. Like I committed to that relationship. We got the same tattoo. And yeah, it says love in Hebrew. So that was the most painful ever
Aw.
because
I
it's on
bet.
my rib cage directly on bones. And the guy told me, if you cry, I'm going to charge you more. And because he like couldn't stand it. Like I walked into this like heavy metal, dark, like it's scary, right? And so I did cry
Yeah.
a lot, and he did charge me an extra $25.
That is so terrible.
I know. It
Oh
was
my
so
gosh.
yeah.
Oh my
I do
gosh.
have
That's
an
funny.
idea of one that I've been wanting if I ever just get over the fear. Um, you guys know that one of my favorite book series is Chatter Me, and a
Mhm.
big word in those books is ignite, and I use that
Mhm.
word a lot, like in my Christian life as well. And I just
Mhm.
want the word ignite somewhere, like on my arm, somewhere where it's not gonna hurt as
Yeah.
bad.
Well, I will say getting it done on my wrist was not the most painful. I would say of all the places, wrist or maybe even like your arm here, anywhere that there's a lot of like, I don't know, extra cushion.
I feel like
For me,
yeah.
it's on my arm. Yeah. Or even your
Yeah.
back. Strangely enough, I've heard getting it like a shoulder tat, a small
Mhm.
one, doesn't
I've
hurt.
thought about that because in the book, the main character has the word ignite on his back.
Mm-hmm.
So I've thought about that, but
Yeah. I also have a neck tattoo that's like you can't see it. I don't know. Let me see. Can you see the heart?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that hurt 0%. Like
Oh,
0%.
Well, that's
nice.
good.
Yeah. So you could get one there. Like night when you put your hair up.
Ignite my hair.
Oh, hopefully that does not happen.
I have 3 tattoos. I have my newest one is this one on my wrist. It's my dog's paw
Oh
print.
my gosh, that's adorable.
Oh, that's so cute.
It's so cute.
Um,
Wait, come closer. I can't
it
see
did not it did not hurt.
Oh
I've
my
never
gosh,
seen that, and I
Um,
how
feel like I've seen you
cute!
on screen so many times. How did I miss a ginormous tattoo?
That's
I
adorable.
know. It did not hurt. However, I was very annoyed after like the 3rd hour. I was like, I'm ready to leave. I'm ready to
3
leave.
hours?
Yeah,
Um,
I could
Gosh.
never.
yeah, about almost 3 hours. I've got one of my foot. It's a hang on. No feet pics, but I got a tattoo or I got a firework.
Oh, cute!
Ooh, what's it signify?
And I
You
just
just
like
like Katy
it.
Perry. Baby, you're a firework.
You know, the first time I heard that song, I was getting that
Oh my
done.
gosh,
No,
that is
stop it.
hilarious.
It's
Yeah.
kismet.
And then I've got one on my hip. It's just a small flower.
Nice.
So not showing that. So
it's not a bunny or a heart.
No bunny.
Like when we were in college.
Nothing.
Well, I think it was high school. We did the bunny or like the heart or whatever.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Does anyone else have any tattoos? Joel said my sister and her have matching tattoos of the Irish symbol for sister. Luckily, a tattoo gun looks nothing like an actual needle, which is true. Just don't look at it.
Yeah, don't look at it too closely.
Bring a book.
Oh, I could read. No
Ooh.
way. You can't read.
I like this for 3 words. Isolation, deja vu.
Oh, those are good.
Deja vu is a good one. Oh, wait. Where did my screen go? There we go. Let's see. Brandon has one on his right arm. Lena, interesting. My rib tat was the least painful of my 4.
That is interesting because mine was very painful. And it was like, oh, well, it's like up right below.
It seems like it would
your
be.
breast. Yeah. Well, actually, the tattoo artist said, number 1 most painful, top of your foot. Number 2 most painful, your rib cage.
That one did hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was not fun. I will say that. Let's see. Another meaningful tattoo I have is a semicolon on my wrist for suicide awareness.
Oh.
My sisters actually have that one too. Jules, you have 6 total tattoos.
Where are they?
I love that.
She has one on her arm. Does she?
I knew she had one on her arm.
I think, I know that
one.
one.
Where are the others? If you don't mind saying so.
Jules is like, I'm not going to show you where my tattoos are.
Gwen has 4. Michelle has 4.
Gwen has 4 tattoos?
One of her daughters. I think her dad did all of them because he was a tattoo
that's
artist.
Awesome.
I've never.
I know she's got one right here.
I've never seen a tattoo in Gwen.
I think she's got one on her foot.
Oh,
maybe.
Okay.
I don't know.
That's probably why.
Peace and love on my wrists. That's cute. 2 on my hip, 1 on my back, and 1 on my side rib cage. Jules has 1 on both of her feet. Can agree, it's painful.
Yeah, because it's right on the metatarsal bone, like 4 of them.
Mm-hmm. No tattoos yet. Can't decide what to get. Yeah, it took me. I knew I wanted this tattoo, but I could not figure out where to put it. It took me like 5 years.
How did they do it? Did they just take a picture of your dog's foot?
Yeah, I just sent them a picture and they printed it out. It's slightly smaller than his actual foot, and I asked them to make his toenails smaller.
Can you hold?
Because I didn't clip his nails.
Can you hold it up again? I don't think I really saw it very well.
That is precious, Jessie.
That is really, really cute.
It's like the most unflattering
I just
angle.
love the hair sticking out of the top of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she did a great job. For my next one, I want to get Trotter's ears
seen those
somewhere.
I've seen those. Those are precious.
Aww.
And he has like polka dotted ears. I want to get like the polka dots on it too.
That is so cute. I love it.
Okay, moving on. Okay, let's talk characters. The most important ones are Theo, who is our main character, Connor, the fiance, Louise and Magnus are the grandparents, Nick was the uncle, Alexis was the sister, Rose was Connor's mom, and Trevor was Connor's brother. Anything you guys want to discuss about them? Anything that stuck out?
Trevor, what the heck, when he burned her hand.
Oh,
like and also, how did they come back from that? It was like he did it, he was a jerk, and then later she's like
oh, I forgive you.
Like, what?
Yeah.
If someone burns me on the hand, I'm gonna be really mad, and I'm not gonna like you. And I just felt like she just it was like she just brushed over that. That shocked me. So, and it was also just so like out of character, I guess. It was just very random. Like, okay, you're sneaking around in the house, but also like, why is he burning you for it? He doesn't really know everything yet. It was random. To me, it was super random.
Yeah, I think Trevor, I think it's so interesting. Like, I think in the beginning, he's like my least favorite character, but yet he did like absolutely nothing.
Right?
I know.
You're just aware.
he just he did do like the tree pictures or whatever. The reveal. Remember, wasn't it him that put the pictures on the tree of like things that only the family would know that they did wrong? Yeah. So he did like he was just like a pot stirrer and like little like pump his butt.
He just wasn't a great guy, but he wasn't like anyone that he didn't like murder anyone.
He was just like a lousy. He wasn't like, incriminated.
Like the deadbeat uncle that like nobody.
Right. He's just like
exactly.
Just like the deadbeat uncle that like randomly cigarette burns you.
Liam is a character that I would like to talk about, which is Connor's dad, because the entire book.
I was like, "Where's Liam?"
I'm sorry, he was not on the list. We were meant to think that Liam was this terrible guy, like 80% of the book. And then I felt so bad when we got to the very end, when he was just trying to help her, like trying to save her. And it broke my heart.
I villainized him the entire book. I'm like,
yes. And he was not the villain. And oh my gosh, that just like moved me in a way I was not expecting.
Yeah. I know Theo was like, oh, Liam was the bad guy, like just painting this picture. I'm like, girl, you don't even know what your real name is.
Right, like you don't even know anything.
So I'm not even gonna believe what she thinks.
Yes.
But also,
get your story straight first.
Can we talk about how like yes, what she went through was traumatic, but was it so traumatic that she would lose all her memory? Because she didn't really even see her mom necessarily like that. She just saw her laying down. Like I feel like for it to be so traumatic that you don't remember anything, you were like physically assaulted, abused, like something very serious happened. Whereas serious things happened around her, and yes, she was kind of like she got the short end of the stick. Did it happen to her? Not necessarily in the way that you think it did. Like, yeah, she had that family that was really cruel to her.
Yeah.
And that was a bad part. But, like, I don't know. She just made it sound like, I don't know, for you to forget your entire life and your name, you must have had major trauma. And I didn't feel like the trauma she had, like, lived up to maybe forgetting everything about your life. I mean, I'm not trying to categorize
I guess,
trauma either.
Wasn't she like 4 or 5 when all this happened too?
She was extremely young.
Yeah.
And
like I feel like not young enough to not remember a lot.
But as far as I know, like she never suffered anything like blunt head trauma or anything like that.
Just that one, what, Betty or what's her name? What's the Peter and Joseph and Joseph?
Oh, the adoptive kids or the adoptive parents.
The devil incarnate. Like
Beth,
like
maybe?
that's the only person who really treated her horribly, and she remembers Beth.
Right.
Yeah.
The grandma though.
Yeah.
I forget who brought up the grandma.
Louise.
I said
Jules.
The grandma, but I agree. The grandma was giving hardcore Emily Gilmore vibes, and very much so. She was an evil person.
Yeah.
Truth.
It's just weird, like, to like hold like I guess like money and like family like over top of people, but I know like it happens all the time. But it's just weird that like how is anyone supposed to carry on the family if like you're going to act that way and act like so suspicious and stuff like that. Also, the sister was super weird.
Yeah, her entire story and like the cheating and everything, like just the whole Alexis, the whole thing was just weird. Who was the guy who was like the family friend groundskeeper?
Vance?
Or, I was gonna say, is he on here? I forget his name.
No.
He also.
But we talk about him.
So I would say, like, I kept thinking to myself, like, he's the bad guy, like it's him.
Poor Vance.
Yeah.
Did it? Okay, for some reason, once again, like working brain, it's slipping my mind. But when she was getting all of those text messages, like "leave, don't be here," wasn't it from him?
No,
I think it was the grandfather.
The grandfather Magnus. Okay, I couldn't remember which older guy it was. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I'm like, that is so weird that I mean, I don't know exactly how I pictured Louise and Magnus to be like
Yeah.
super old. Also, he was
Yeah,
dying
that was
too.
very
Mhm.
weird.
So I'm like, I just kind of find it weird that this older gentleman, got a burner phone to text
Right.
Yeah.
his grandson's fiance and be like, stay away.
Like because he thought she had ulterior motive. If he had just left it alone, she wouldn't even have like figured a lot of it out maybe. I
Exactly.
think actually going back to like when she was being alerted and feeling like you're being manipulated, I think that was the moment where she
Mm-hmm.
started to feel freaked out, was when she those texts
Yeah.
aligning to all of the other events. So I feel like if the text hadn't
Mm-hmm.
happened, like the feelings she had weren't enough to scare her so much. But
Right.
because
Mhm.
he texted her, then it like made it crazy. If he had just not texted her, she might
Exactly.
have been like not putting it together.
Also, going back to Theo, like in the beginning, it's like, oh, I don't remember much, but like I know I'm a bad person.
Right? Right.
And I was just like, oh, what did you
Yeah.
do? And then, I
You
mean,
That's some
almost killed
addiction there.
somebody. Like,
yeah,
She was just trying to catch for the wind. She didn't know what she's doing.
yeah.
exactly. I was just
Well,
like,
she did
oh,
think, didn't she think she killed Joseph? Well, no, because she didn't. She knew she didn't.
she
She
stabbed
stabbed him, but
him,
that's it.
I guess.
it
Yeah. And he ended up living.
Mhm.
well, she did something else to Joseph's wife, right? Didn't she do something else to her? Like
I
because,
know she got caught
right, there was the whole
with the
pregnancy thing.
guy.
Yeah.
But there was
Yeah.
like something, didn't she like lash out and hit Beth or whatever too?
It seems like that's right. I
There was
don't
some moment where like Beth was
know.
like, you this and you, and she was like younger and she lost her
Mm-hmm.
temper. So like I think in her mind she just thought she was bad because not only did she do those few bad things, but like they
Mhm.
also told her she was
Mm-hmm.
the devil incarnate.
Yeah,
Yeah. So she was kind of
Yeah.
conditioned to
for
think
sure.
she was
Yeah,
bad.
because it gives the
Yeah.
vibe in the beginning. She's like, if Connor only knew, or not Connor, what's his name? Is it Connor?
Mhm.
The
Yeah,
fiance. Yeah.
they're like, oh, Connor, if he only knew the real me, like in what I've done. You're like,
Yeah. I thought like her
I
backstory,
thought
like
she killed her
her.
mother at first. I was like,
I know, I
oh,
did too.
he killed her mother
Yeah.
accidentally. Something like she did something bad.
Mhm.
And yeah,
This book had so much going on.
Really though.
Crazy. Okay, so before we get into the details, I guess we kind of went over a few of the details. Did you have any theories while reading the book? I know we've mentioned possibly like incest with Connor and Theo. Thank goodness it didn't happen. But did you have any other theories of like who was behind everything?
my theories evolved because at first I thought it was Connor. Then I thought
Mhm.
he was luring her
Mm-hmm.
there because his dad had a secret affair, but it was like more sinister. Like his
Mm-hmm.
dad was like with the picture of like the woman getting bruised and all that. I was like, oh, they're trying to cover up that they had a father who abused and like hurt women and had
Mm-hmm.
children with them and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, well, Connor knows something he's not saying, and maybe Connor is trying to like bring her back. Then my theory was like, okay, well, Connor doesn't know anything. It's Vance, the muscle of the family.
Mm-hmm.
He knows all the dirty secrets, so he's gonna hurt her because he knows who she truly is, which is the love child of this guy who we think is murderous and abusive and all this other stuff. And so like it just kept
Yeah.
evolving. And then I was like, oh, it's the grandma. Like the grandma did it because she
Yeah.
actually killed that lady, and it's the
Mhm.
grandma doing all that stuff. So I guess my theories just kept evolving as the book evolved. And then, like I said
Mm-hmm.
before, your brain just falls down a flight of stairs because they're confusing you so much. But
Yeah.
then I guess honestly, what's the book that I read? Is it Never Lie by Frida McFadden? And then when you get to the
Mm-hmm.
end, it's like the woman or like the main characters are the bad people or something. I think. Well, I shouldn't have spoiled that. Anyway, sorry. Oops. Don't listen. There's another
Oh
book
my
that's similar.
gosh.
I'm so sorry. I'm so good about never doing that, but I totally did. So sorry. But there's another book that's similar to that. Like you find out. I'm
Leah coming around here and like
not
unintentionally
mean
spoiling another
to.
book.
It's because my brain is like so fried
It's
from
okay.
everything. But anyway,
From what I remember, I don't think that really
Yeah.
spoiled
no, it didn't
You're
really
that
fine.
much of the
spoil
book.
that much. Yeah. So
Yeah.
anyway, it's very similar to like you think the main character is going to be. I thought the girl was going to be the main character that was like blowing it all. Like she did something horrible because she makes herself sound like she's done murderous things too, and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
So my theories evolved as the book evolved, but it changed a lot.
Same. I think I was
Yeah.
suspecting. I think in the back of my mind, I was always suspecting Nick, just because he was very quiet and in the background,
Mhm.
and he was also just he was a treat. He was just every time
He
we
was
saw
a
him,
treat.
he was just a treat. He really was. And I think I always suspected him, but I also suspected Trevor at one point. I was like,
Yeah.
Trevor has got to have
Yeah.
something to do with this. And then I obviously suspected Liam. Something was going on with Liam the entire time. I definitely did
Mhm.
not see Liam not being a bad guy. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So once I get past the whole possible incest part, which again, thank goodness that didn't happen, I was like, okay, there's wealthy money. One of these kids is trying to get the money. And I was like, Trevor just seems too obvious. Connor, maybe, but I was like, I think it's Alexis.
You really
So-
thought of her? But you're
I
good
did.
at
I
figuring
just-
things out, I think, right?
Well, she was already married. So maybe she was trying to make sure because she was married, had a kid, that she was going to get whatever inheritance in a way. I don't know. That was I was like, there's got to be money involved.
Yeah.
But
Hush money.
I also got Nick and Trevor mixed up a lot
I was
for
doing
some
the same
reason, just
thing.
based on their names. Because I was like, wait, is this the uncle? No, this is the brother. No, this was the dad. No, this was the grandfather.
Listen.
No, this is the
They were
dude.
kind of similar
popping up.
characters.
There were
Nick and
similar
Trevor.
characters,
Yeah.
a lot of men, and it was hard to keep them all together. So, yeah.
Mhm.
There was like what? The
Yeah.
grandfather, the dad, the uncle Connor, the groundskeeper. Was that everyone?
Mhm.
I think that was it.
So there was
Yeah.
like 5 guys for
I also suspected, I forgot her name, but it was whoever Alexis was married to, her wife.
It started with a P.
I was,
P, yeah.
yeah, I forgot why I suspected her.
What was her name?
I think because like anytime, like she already knew, I was like, oh, she already knows all the secrets maybe. But it was like anytime they got into a tiff, she'd like get up and move. So I was like, oh, she's too far in the background. It's got to be her somehow. Or like maybe she was, I don't know. I thought I was like, oh no, she's tied into something, but no, apparently not. So
Yeah. What's her name? That's gonna bother me.
Um,
Paloma or something? Was it something?
it was
Something
something
like
like
that.
it was
Paloma.
Started with a
it
P.
was something
Paloma.
like that.
Paloma.
Oh,
Yeah, and also I didn't really spoil that book. So
Brandon's
please
not
read
reading
if
it
you're gonna
now.
read. If you're gonna read Frida McFadden, I didn't really spoil the whole thing. I
That
just
is
mini
so
spoiled
funny.
I not really, because I feel like everyone's actually gonna be genuinely mad at me.
No,
But
you both read
No.
it, so
okay, good. Because I was like, because I know people get like, I remember when Onyx Storm was coming out and people were like death threatening people, like they were like, if you spoil, I'm coming for you. Like,
yeah, it's a Frida.
Yeah.
No, nobody's
It's
gonna.
right. I was gonna
Well,
say
even
it.
if they did read it afterwards, that book is so
Complex.
like unhinged
Really,
and like
though.
you're going this way and this
Yeah.
way and this way and this way. Like they couldn't keep
Yeah.
up anyway. So I think you're good. This one was submitted on Discord. Do you think Theo's final like speech to the family was the best way she could have handled it, or do you think it was more revenge fueled over justice?
I put 3 question marks on this question because I cannot, for the life of me, remember what she said. Can one of you please fill me in on what she said?
I
It
don't
was
remember
after-
exactly.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Or like what
Yeah.
went down?
I don't remember it being like, this is my revenge, like we're doing it my way type of thing. I don't remember it being that way. I think it was just like we know what's happening.
Well, didn't she confront the Grant Magnus, but it wasn't it after kind of. Was it after that? the uncle was killed, wasn't it? I there were several times.
Yes.
Yeah, because she confronted
Yes.
them, and
That
that's
was
when
one
they
of the
kind of
last things
wrapped
she
it up.
did, was she met with Magnus. That was one of the last things, and Magnus was like, "Well, I'm dying anyway, so you can go tell me
Yeah.
if you want."
She confronted the
Yeah.
family kind of like in spurts. Like first she talked, right, because like Alexis was there. She found Connor after the whole uncle thing whenever
Mhm.
the uncle died. Then she found Alexis. Then she kind of confronted Alexis. Paloma left. Then Connor came in. And then I think that's when they brought the grandma, right? When they all went to find her. And then that's when Theo was like, ah.
Okay, it seems like I'm getting there.
Yeah, so it was
Yeah.
like then there was a confrontation about basically like then that's when Alexis was like, I'm gonna turn myself in, and they're like, no, don't turn yourself in. You have your whole life ahead of you. Blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like they were trying to contain it, and the grandma kept wanting it to be her way, and she was like, we hid it on for a reason. We were trying to save. Like I think they were almost like reaching out to Theo's better nature, like we're trying to save our own. And then she's like, well, you didn't save my mom, and
I think Theo.
I think also they were all trying to get on the same page
Yeah.
too, because like Alexis thought she did something terrible and she never ended
Yeah.
up doing it.
Yeah, it was after the uncle died, and it was like how they were going to
Mm-hmm.
bring it all together and fix it. And that's when you find out who really killed her mother.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
To answer the question,
Exactly.
I feel like Theo did it correctly. She just left and just went on
Yeah.
about her life. Her and Connor got married, and she left it all because who needs that much drama in your
Yeah.
life? To be
Did
honest,
you
No.
just go, just
Did
leave
you-
it alone.
did you like how it ended? Like, or are we going to get to that? We're probably going to get to that.
Yeah, that was gonna be my next. That was gonna be one of my questions. Actually, where is it? Oh yeah, I skipped over this question. If you were in Theo's shoes, would you still be in the relationship with Connor even after everything that you know went down?
No.
I don't think
No,
I
I
could.
would not. I actually kind of think it's kind of weird that they're still together. I feel like
Yeah.
I would just want to put that family and all that that family represents
Mhm.
behind me and start fresh. I kind of feel like as
Mhm.
long as she's with him, she's never going to fully be past that. And it's just going to be,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
she's going to have to be looking over her shoulder. The family can't be trusted. They've proven that. And I know that they kind of like cut
Mhm.
ties, but I mean, in a family like that, can you ever really cut ties?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I kind of have a weird answer for this, and I think it really depended on how his response was towards his family, because I think, and you can apply this to real life too. If you have a man who is not willing to stand up to his family for you, that's a red flag.
Huge
But
red flag.
Mhm.
if
Huge
he
red flag.
is, that is a green flag, because if he's willing and able and okay with the fact that you're more important than they are to
Mhm.
you, then I feel like I would have pursued the relationship, but he didn't. He
Yeah.
was constantly picking them over her.
But like, how deep were they really in their relationship? Like, I feel like if I,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, I know that they were going to get were they engaged or were they going to get engaged? They were engaged. They were engaged.
They were engaged.
Yeah.
I just kind of feel like I just wouldn't want to know that that's the crop that my husband is from. Like, I just wouldn't want to
Mhm.
have anything to do with any of that. And
Yeah.
I just feel like even if he did stand up to his family, which he did, I feel like he really did, like, you know, say, I'm going to do whatever. I want you. I choose you. I don't know. Like,
Mhm.
still, I feel like, do you even want that drama in your life?
Right.
Like, do you want him to have to choose? I don't know. I wouldn't pursue a relationship with someone with all that
Yeah.
history. I mean, but then there are the aspects of like they're fated. Like they played together as children. The tattoo.
Yeah.
That's why he was
Mhm.
attracted to her because of that. Like it just seems like they're fated and that's what they want you to believe. So for that reason.
Yeah. I can see them maybe staying together, but not long term. Like I feel like
Yeah.
I just
They
could
both
not,
have too much baggage.
Too much.
Yeah, I feel like you could never have the same relationship that you had before
Mhm.
going to Idlewood.
Yes.
You know?
I agree. I mean, and who knowing who his sister is and knowing what happened and all of that, like I just feel like you
Mhm.
could never truly be in a healthy relationship with
Yeah,
all
I
of that
agree.
Yeah.
under, you know, under the surface.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like the people that have commented also agree with
Yeah.
you. Okay, so before we reveal our final star rating, do you have any book recommendations based on if people liked it or did not like A Killing Cold?
I've already mentioned The Family Game, which I think, like, if you liked this one, you immediately need to go into The Family Game, because that one I loved more than this one. And the audiobook is just phenomenal in that book. But I also put Not a Happy Family by Sherry Lapina, which is about
Ooh,
3
that's a good
adult
one.
children who are under suspicion that they brutally murdered their parents. Like, and it's dealing with money and rich people drama, and that one also gives me these kinds of vibes. So, those are my 2 recommendations.
I think just all the ones that I had recommended, like The Hunting Party by Lucy Foley, even the guest list by Lucy Foley could maybe even be in that sphere,
Yeah.
because the guest list is on a remote island, a destination wedding, like a
Mhm.
whodunit. Also, I feel like the one I mentioned, The Only One Left by Riley Sager, although it's not really that similar, it involves a family lore. There's lore, folklore, like what did they do at Idlewood? What did they do at this house? Trying to think of any others. I don't read too many thrillers. Is there a Ruth Ware that I could say?
You did say One by One.
One by One.
That was a good one.
In a dark wood, maybe, because it's so dark wooded, like the lodge.
I gave up on her.
I don't know. Ruth Ware is another.
Did you DNF that one?
I don't like Ruth Ware. So
her backlist is just way better. Her new stuff I just cannot get with.
Her backlist.
I do want to read Woman in Cabin 10 because I think it's becoming a movie or TV show, so I'm willing to read that.
Yeah, there's another book coming out. So yeah, I think for sure.
So ones that I have, if you kind of like, without giving it away, if you kind of like what our initial thoughts were at the beginning of the book, I think you should read the Roanoke Girls.
Gosh.
Yeah.
No.
Going back to family, truth is revealed, that sort of thing. I loved it. I mean, it's not for everyone, I will say that. Also like the amnesia, trouble, remembering what happened. I would say A House in the Pines by Anya Reyes. That's a good one.
Okay.
Listen for the Lie also has the amnesia trope. Does it?
Yes. Yes. If you're looking for that, I'd also say like maybe like a locked room mystery too. Like if you're looking for clues, so like any of the Lucy Foley ones.
I'm looking to see if I have anything on my list. That's
An Unwanted Guest has that like locked room, isolated winter setting as well.
Megan Miranda, The Guest House, because it's also about like a family secret.
I have not read that one, but yes. Yeah. All right. If you have not already, please comment in the chat what your final star rating is. But what is y'all's final rating is?
I'm sorry, my daughter just walked in again. Oh, of course. My final rating after the discussion and everything, because I was going to wait, I was going to be like at a 3, but I think I'm going to give it like a 3.5. And that's just because
that's good.
I liked it, but I didn't really like how it ended so much. I kind of feel like we had talked about she shouldn't have stayed with him. I liked all the twists and turns, but I almost felt like it was too much. Like it was
it had a lot going
sloppy, on. Like I don't know. So I gave it a 3.5.
This is definitely a book that I would not recommend to everyone because there was a lot of things that I was like, okay, maybe not. But I ate it up. And to me, if a thriller can make me feel the things that this thriller made me feel, I gave it a 4.
Nice. I also gave it a 4. It's not like my favorite by her. By all means, I still love What Lies in the Woods. It's still my favorite.
I'm gonna put that one on my list.
Oh, it's so good. So good. Yeah, this one, like, I don't think, like, I'm not going to remember any of these details,
Me too.
like, 6 months from now. I'll have to come back and watch this live show. But I think it's good enough for me to at least recommend, especially for, like, amnesia tropes, wintry, isolated settings, rich people drama. Like, it's definitely got stuff I would recommend if people are looking for it. So I really enjoyed it. Let's see. We got another rating of 3.5, so nice. But yeah, thank you guys so much for, participating again. I love having you guys on here. I'm glad that the discussion was good and we all overall really enjoyed
Yeah.
it. I don't think anyone, I mean, besides Lena and Corinna, I
Yeah.
don't think anyone hated
I
the
mean,
Which
book.
I can
I
see
could've-
why.
Yeah,
I can see why.
Yeah.
I could have given it a 4, but it was like, I don't know. There were just some things I wanted to be different, but overall,
Yeah.
it was like I did eat
Mhm.
it up. It was a very good story, truly.
Yeah. Agreed. Next month, April, we are going to be reading The Last Room on the Left by Leah Conan. If you like isolated winter settings, here you go. Here's another one for you. So this one is about a woman who's trying to get her life back on track. She's also trying to write a book while she's kind of gives me Bates Motel vibes in a way, because it sounds like she's going to stay at Bates Motel to finish her book. But there's a dead body in like the winter.
Mm.
I don't know. So it's giving me those vibes, but we'll see. I'm super excited.
That sounds good.
My co-host, I'm so excited. I've never read anything by this author. We have 2 new co-hosts. We have Sam from Spark of Sam and also Yvette, which Yvette doesn't have a YouTube channel, but she's on
She
Instagram.
should.
She's always, yeah. I keep telling her
That's
but
going to be
she
a fun
won't listen
group.
to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. The discussion is April 28th here on my channel. You can scan that QR code over where Leah is to join the Discord. Chapter by chapters are ready, available. And yeah, so I'll go ahead and end the stream. But thank you, ladies, again. And we'll see you guys all in the next one.